You know, they want to throw the word phenomenal around a lot tonight. Grayson Waller wants to call himself phenomenal. AJ Styles wants to call himself phenomenal. There's one word that describes this podcast, and I'm going to use that same word, man. We are phenomenal. WWE gets a little worried. They're worried. They hit the panic button. It did no good, though, because it was a waste of a segment. WWE sends AJ Styles to Orlando to combat what is a rare Tuesday night football game. What does it mean for AJ Styles and Grayson Waller? I don't know, but they're seemingly going all in on Grayson Waller very, very quickly. And I'm going to reiterate what I said last week about Grayson Waller. I just don't think he is at that level where people are going to take him seriously. Also, my boy Tony D'Angelo had a fantastic main event with Pete Dunne. Tony D'Angelo's ready for the big time, bro. He's also ready for a nice glass of red wine after that beating he gave Pete Dunne. Also, New Year's Evil is taking shape, and NXT, the black and gold, is getting ready to be fully put to rest. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm heading to the venue. I don't know what you guys are doing, man. I'm still a little bit under the weather, man. We're going to try and get through this, but I'm going to the venue. Jesse's got me a nice hot apple cider ready. Yeah, he works on Tuesday nights, even though he says he doesn't. I'm going to the venue. Hopefully you guys meet me over there, man. But I got one question before I get the hell out of here. What are you guys drinking? I'll see you guys over there.
AEW successful? Why is Tony Khan running his promotion better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard are running Monday night and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. It is December 21st, 2021. I am your host, JD from New York, and this is the OTS venue. Thank you guys very much for joining me wherever you may be on your Tuesday nights. This is your official NXT 2.0 post show right here on OTS. We don't really have much to go over tonight, guys. I thought the AJ Styles appearance on NXT tonight was going to be a little bit more. I thought it was going to be a little bit more clear cut as to why he was there. WWE, they tend to do this every now and then. They didn't really do it often when Triple H was in charge of NXT. They didn't borrow main roster talent. Mainly because Vince McMahon wouldn't really allow that. Because if the main roster talent went to NXT, then they wouldn't want to leave NXT, led by Triple H. And normally Triple H tends to book people a lot better. So if you take somebody from the main roster that Vince McMahon isn't really doing anything with, and then they go to NXT, and then they're there for like a week or 2, 3 weeks, and they're booked a little bit better than they have been in 3 years on the main roster, that's a little problem there for Vince McMahon's ego. And we've seen none of that, really, when Triple H was in charge. It was always the other way around. Vince would sometimes not even tell Triple H. You guys remember the Johnny Gargano, Ricochet, Aleister Black, and Tommaso Ciampa situation, and the whirlwind of bullshit that was when they got, quote-unquote, called up to the main roster. Vince called them up, and he didn't even run it by Triple H. There was no communication between Vince McMahon and Triple H, and those were Triple H's big four at the time. No communication at all. And Vince McMahon said, listen, I want these guys on the main roster. I want you to book them on the main roster. I want you to write for them. I want to see if they sink or swim. Just like that. It only worked in one way. It didn't work with main roster going to NXT. AJ Styles tonight, he showed up, and normally I'd sit here and I'd shit on it. It was a harmless appearance tonight. AJ Styles was a harmless appearance tonight. It didn't really do much of anything. They're really going all in on Grayson Waller. They are. I don't know what the rush is on Grayson Waller. I don't know what the big deal is on Grayson Waller. The guy's fantastic. The guy's a great wrestler. But I just don't think, after the Johnny Gargano situation, that they're really following it up the way that they should. It feels a little forced. Like you just exiled Johnny Gargano from NXT, and now you're calling out AJ Styles? For what? What does AJ Styles have to do with anything on NXT, let alone Grayson Waller? And AJ Styles, it's not really fair to him either. Why are you using him, of all people, to get involved with a Grayson Waller? Why are you taking somebody like AJ Styles? And this is the part that really kind of bugged me a little bit. Isn't AJ Styles the guy that we want to see booked a little bit better or enhanced going into 2022? For months, he's been straddled with fucking Omos. And he's been carrying around that lumbering fucking giant of a fool, Omos. And on Monday Night Raw, they claim that Omos is sick and tired of carrying AJ Styles. I mean, I don't know who the fuck writes this shit. I really don't. But isn't AJ Styles somebody we want to see booked a little bit better? Of all people, why do you need to send AJ Styles down there? Don't you have anybody else that you could send down there and maybe have Grayson Waller make a name off of? Somebody that really isn't doing much of anything, and that could afford a loss if you want to book a match between a Grayson Waller and an AJ Styles or anybody on the main roster. First guy that comes to my mind is Ricochet. Why don't we see a guy like Ricochet back on NXT? I think that would be fantastic. I think he'd fit right in, especially in a match against Grayson Waller. But AJ Styles seems like it's a little forced, if you ask me. Now, the only reason why they brought AJ Styles to NXT on Tuesday night tonight was because there's a Tuesday night football game. Nothing was going to work. I don't even know who the fuck was playing. Nor do I care. But no matter what they did, no matter who it was, nothing was going to generate interest on Tuesday night. And the funny thing is, Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard are running the show. You guys are very well aware of that. I don't need to repeat that. You guys are smart enough to know that. But I find it very funny how they were supposed to come in and be the saviors of this new NXT. And then here they are. They're already relying on main roster talent. And they're showing their desperation card early in this failed experiment of NXT 2.0. AJ was brought in because of a football game. It will have absolutely no bearing on a rating whatsoever. And AJ Styles versus Grayson Waller, if that is the plan that they're going with, I would assume it takes place at New Year's Evil. I don't really agree with it because AJ Styles himself needs a solid victory, and I don't think Grayson Waller beating AJ Styles is going to be a good look. So that was the big happening on the show tonight. It was really harmless. It was nothing really newsworthy. And if you missed it, there's no reason to go back and watch a YouTube clip or a Twitter clip. There was really nothing going on there. Basically, AJ Styles called him out. Grayson Waller stood his ground and then played the heel card, and they squared up to fight, and then he backs away like a coward heel, and he says, you know what, I'll let Omos take care of you first on Monday, and then I'll have the rest. That's pretty much what happened with AJ Styles and Mr. Grayson Waller. Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker. You can just sense that they're setting up the changing of the guard. The black and gold will be forever dead on New Year's Evil. Figured they would do the title change at New Year's Evil. Soon as we saw Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa wrestle the last time and it did not happen, I'm like, well, maybe War Games. Maybe they do it at War Games, but they were then in War Games. And then Braun Breaker pinned Ciampa in War Games to win War Games. And now we're going to New Year's Evil on the first Tuesday of January. And WWE is setting up Braun Breaker to be the new man in NXT, which I don't think should come as a surprise to anybody in this chat room. Braun Breaker will be the new NXT champion. Tommaso Ciampa, I don't know what happens to him. I'm sure he'll linger around and be that veteran presence on the brand. But as you guys have already heard on this very podcast, the black and gold will now be forever dead, and Paul Levesque's legacy will be forever erased. Nothing of the old NXT will remain. Nothing. It's all gone. As soon as that championship goes to Breaker, the NXT black and gold that Triple H, that Paul Levesque so brilliantly ran is dead. And I'm not really looking forward to that, but I don't really have a problem with Braun Breaker. I'm actually a Braun Breaker guy. I think he is actually foolproof. He's one of those things in WWE, Braun Breaker. He's fucking foolproof. Meaning that there's no fucking way Bruce or Vince can fuck this guy up. I mean, he's as simple could be. He goes out there, he looks great, he looks tough, he doesn't smile, he says barely anything, he looks intimidating, he throws you around, and he leaves. There's no fucking way they could mess this up. So if there's one guy that's going to be ready for the main roster very quickly, it'll be a Braun Breaker. And if there's one guy that I trust creatively with these guys, it's a Braun Breaker because he's just very simple. He's a very easy character to understand and an easy character to book. And I'm not the only one that says that. Many people in the community that do what I do have said this is a foolproof plan for Braun Breaker. There's no way you could fuck this guy up. But listen, it seems simple. But with these people, I don't put them in such high regard, Bruce and Vince, ever. I don't really give them the benefit of the doubt. If they're going to fuck anything up, I mean, they'll fuck it up. They'll find some way to fuck it up. So Braun Breaker, Tommaso Ciampa, they had a square down tonight, and we will go over what happened there as we head into their match at New Year's Evil. Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, they had a street fight tonight. Really emotionless. There's really nothing there. Dakota Kai, I feel like she is all but done in NXT. There's nothing more for her to do. They have positioned Raquel Gonzalez after she won the NXT Women's Championship at Stand and Deliver. They really haven't done much with her at all. She was also a Triple H project, and she really has just be kind of floating around, not really doing much of anything. She doesn't feel the same. She doesn't look the same. That's because WWE's attention is really, geared towards pushing Cora Jade, and their attention is pushed towards Mandy Rose and getting all of the young audience back to NXT by pushing groups like Toxic Attraction, and you see Carmen Elektra on the show, Elektra Lopez. You see females like that on the show, really thick, really busty, really attractive. That's what they're aiming for. The whole makeup of the women's division is really not the same as it was when Triple H was running it. I mean, you had your Shotzi's, your Embers, your EOs, you had your Tegan Nox. Yeah, you had a bunch of different. Toni Storm was there. I mean, the whole makeup of the women's division is just not the same right now. It's a lot better than what it is on the main roster, but it's just not the same. It just feels lifeless. And you can feel like they're going, you can see what direction they're going in, and I don't really like it. I don't really like it at all. It's more of a who's who based on looks than it is a who's who based on in-ring ability. And it's not really what the women's revolution was built on, And I find that to be quite sad because the bread and butter of NXT for so many years has been its women's division. And Triple H and William Regal and Matt Bloom and Sarah Amato, they took such great care of the women's division. And as soon as Bruce and Vince get in there, I mean, for the people that still don't think that Vince and Bruce are running the fucking show, I mean, Mandy Rose is your goddamn women's champion. I mean, they got tits as women's champion instead of the actual in-ring performer. That's what they're doing nowadays. I mean, I'm not for that. I don't really give championships based on looks. It's not what Triple H did. But this is where we are. Raquel Gonzalez doesn't feel the same. Dakota Kai, she's all but done there. Cora Jade being skyrocketed to the top. I don't believe in her at all yet. At all. Mandy Rose, she's transformed herself. I give her a little bit of respect and some credit. She's not somebody that I want leading a fucking NXT show. Maybe this NXT show run by fucking Vince and Bruce, and then you got Johnny La People Power in their ear. It's exactly what he wants. A return to the Divas era. It's not really what I look at when I look at what Triple H has built for the last 9 years. Doesn't feel the same. Then we got Tony D'Angelo and Pete Dunne. Excellent main event. I mean, I could sit here and praise Tony D'Angelo and come off as a mark, and I will certainly do that. Guy's great. The guy's just fantastic. The guy's a future world champion. Absolutely no question. And normally when I'm high on somebody, I know that it's going to work out. I got a very good eye and a very good ear for talent. And Tony D'Angelo is it. Seriously. So much so that I actually think he is above a Braun Breaker. And I know WWE's high on Breaker. I know they're high on Carmelo Hayes. I know they're high on Von Wagner. They gave him graphics on the big screen tonight. Looks all very Van Halen-esque. Whatever the fuck they're doing with Von Wagner. He lost in the squash match tonight. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with him. But Jesus Christ, they got to give that guy some personality. Seriously, you need to sell me on why I should care about Von Wagner, man. I'm not even talking about the fucking lotion in the basket. You got to sell me on him, man. He's a fucking charisma vacuum. Like, I genuinely feel bad for him. I do. He looks like he's so scared out there. He doesn't know who he has to be or who he, what he's got to be. He doesn't know what he's got to do. Who is he? Comes out, he looks like a fucking cross between Great Khali and Edge. Nobody knows who the fuck he is or what he's about. He doesn't really speak anything. He's got no personality. So when he comes out there, he's got that monotone crowd silence. They're boisterous because it's an NXT crowd. It's a small crowd, but they're not really booing him. They're not really cheering him. It's that indifferent crowd reaction. That's the fucking death of somebody. You don't want that for anybody. And that's what Von Wagner has. But I would put Tony D'Angelo above a Braun Breaker. I think he's the number one new stud in NXT. He's got the makings of a world champion, no question. And I'm not saying that because he's Italiano and, he's I guess he's a fake New Yorker from Chicago. I don't know. He loves his deep dish pizza. Oh, he hates his fucking Olive Garden. He drinks his red wine and he drinks his red wine. He smokes his cigar, right? You know, I could sit here and give you all the stereotypes, but it works because it's relatable. And he's a great in-ring guy. And he stood toe-to-toe with Pete Dunne, and he had an excellent main event tonight. So we're going to go over that. And also, I got a news article on Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens talked about NXT and said that NXT should have a totally different name. And there was actually a news report about Vince McMahon never giving out a no-cut clause to anybody because he wants the right to terminate anybody whenever he wants. So what that means is that the report that we talked about with Kevin Owens signing his new WWE deal is that Dave Meltzer supposedly said that there was a no-cut clause. I got the news article from WrestlingNews.co. It might have been misquoted. I don't know. I would have never said it if it wasn't on WrestlingNews.co. I actually trust the website. But if Sean Ross Sapp is reporting that Vince McMahon is never giving out no-cut clauses, then Kevin Owens doesn't have a no-cut clause in his contract, and Kevin Owens is now under a $2 to $3 million 3-year contract, and he's at the whim of Vince McMahon. When Vince McMahon doesn't want him anymore, and Vince McMahon feels like he's making too much money for that particular year, he could let him go, which is quite scary. Because nobody knows what the fuck's going on with all the mandates and the provisions now of Omicron, and WWE already talking about maybe going back into the Thunderdome, which I hope is not the case. So I got a news article on Kevin Owens and why he thinks NXT should be under a different name. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining me, man. We got 1,300 in the venue tonight. Thank you, as always. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, man. We got 1,300. Let's try for at least 800 likes. Can we do 800? Every time you guys hit that thumbs up, you guys help me out. Because when you hit that thumbs up, it gets the video into the recommended section on YouTube. You guys actually get the podcast into the recommended section. So when you're listening to Wrestle Geeks and you see the sidebar and you guys are looking for something else to watch, you guys will actually put the podcast in other listeners' eyes and ears that may not know the podcast is there. So hit that thumbs up, man. Let's try for 800 likes on today's NXT post show on OTS. Make sure you guys get those super chats in as well, man. I know it's the Christmas season. I know the super chats have been light lately, but get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show, and you guys can go over whatever you want, ask me whatever you want. You can tell me how you thought of NXT tonight, or ask me any wrestling-related question, anything at all. So make sure you guys get those super chats. And we got some new members in the venue as well. Continue to hit that join button. I love new members in the venue, man. You guys be sitting VIP with me in my new comfy Razor chair. You guys see my new chair, man. I love my new chair. It's my Christmas present. So make sure you guys hit that join button. We got Riddick up and for 15 months. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, man. 15 months re-up VIP. I love to see it. Brandon James Shea also becomes a new member. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. That says Riddick became a member twice. He became a new member, and he became a member for 15 months. I don't know if that's a glitch or not, but I appreciate you guys very, very much. Go check out the Monday Night Raw post show. Live last night. I was quite on fire. I did not feel too well after the show was over. I did not sleep a wink because I am still under the weather. But if you guys want to go check out the Monday Night Raw review, it is quite humorous and quite truthful. And the show was awful. The show did a 1.554 rating, 4th worst in the history of Raw. Yet people want to claim to me that AEW doesn't have good ratings. I'm not talking about AEW. I'm talking about why Raw is fucking god-awful. Fix the fucking show. The show is genuinely embarrassing. And it's only going to get worse. I'm sure USA Network is not very happy about a 1.554 rating. But they're better than AEW. Yeah, the year over year, what happened? Where's everybody going? Oh, yeah, that's right. They're not watching the fucking show anymore because the show sucks. So make sure you guys go check out my Raw review. And anything else that you might have missed. We got the Off the Script live episode of 401. OTS 401's on there as well. Go check that out. Jesse and I will be live tomorrow. Can't wait for tomorrow, man. The Holiday Bash. Kyle O'Reilly, rumored to make his AEW debut. So we will talk about that tomorrow. Jesse and I will be in the venue. And I hope he doesn't bring those shitty-looking fucking tacos he made. I don't need Thunder Rosa causing bloodshed in the goddamn venue, bro. It's like blood in shark-infested waters when you bring Mexican around that woman. Come on. Keep that shit in your own kitchen, bro. I'm surprised she didn't fucking smell you and track you down. Anyway. Also, tonight's show sponsored by Manscaped. Manscaped is the #1 leader in men's below-the-waist grooming. And should be on all of your holiday shopping lists, man. Manscaped.com. You guys are going to use code SCRIPT20 at checkout for not only free shipping, but 20% off. So make sure you guys go check that out and go get your t-shirts, man. Bonfire.com. We got some new merchandise. Bonfire is the exclusive home of Off the Script. Got the OTS white and black. Got the LTB Wolfpack red and black. Make sure you guys go get those NWO throwback designs. All those that have tweeted me that you got them in the mail. I appreciate you very much. Bonfire.com. Link is down below in the description of this very video. Tommaso Ciampa. Let's start off with Psycho Killer. Tommaso Ciampa. So, he's in the ring. And Ciampa says he's got something to get off his chest tonight. He said the champion is supposed to be the hunted, but last week he was the hunter. He said he knows Braun Breaker's music is going to hit any time now, so he might as well come on down to the ring so they can do this face to face. And then, boom, Braun Breaker's music hits right on cue. So Braun Breaker goes to X for a microphone. Ciampa says, no, don't give him a microphone. This is my ring. I'm going to speak to him, and he's going to listen. So he already knows what Braun Breaker's going to say. At War Games, he made a statement and spiked Ciampa through a table, pinned him, won War Games for the 2.0 team. He kept speaking as if he was Breaker's thoughts. He knew what Breaker was going to say before he said it. He said he deserved another chance, but let's just hope he doesn't drown like he did the first time. He said in 2 weeks at New Year's Evil, he would get his second chance. He told Braun to remember what he told him about the deep end. He said there was no replacement for experience. He said Braun wasn't ready to be champion in Ciampa's NXT. I don't think Braun Breaker is ready to be champion in any NXT, but that's just me. I still think it's too soon. I don't know what you guys think about that. Maybe you think differently. You know, I get that they feel like Braun Breaker's the guy, put the title on him, he's going to lead the brand into the next wave. I mean, is he the guy that's going to make the title better? That's what I'm worried about. Is Braun Breaker going to be the type of guy that's going to make that title better? If I was to say yes or no, I would probably lean more towards yes, but not a full yes. Kind of a thumbs in the middle. I don't really think he's the guy yet. He's on his way to being the guy. But I don't think he's the guy just yet. But WWE wants to erase everything that Paul Levesque has done, so they're doing that at New Year's Evil. And it's coming. He brought up the past NXT champions, all of whom are still on the roster. He didn't mention several names, though, which was kind of weird. He mentioned Shinsuke Nakamura. He mentioned Sami Zayn. I believe he mentioned Samoa Joe. He didn't mention Big E or Seth Rollins. They're on the main roster. Those guys were the first couple of NXT champions back in the day. He did not mention Johnny Gargano. I don't know if WWE did not allow Tommaso Ciampa to mention Johnny Gargano. I have no idea. But Johnny Gargano was not mentioned as a former NXT champion, which was kind of odd. He says he didn't mean to demean Breaker because he's doing great, but these are the bright lights, and it's too much too soon. So Ciampa and I think the same way. He said Braun thinks he's going to win the championship and bring it home to his family, and they'll all be barking, hoo, 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 and clapping. He slapped Braun Breaker in the face. Breaker snapped, and he pressed Ciampa over his head, who tried to avoid this. Breaker smiled, put Ciampa down on his own. And he said, in 2 weeks, the blood is in the water. I am the shark, and I am going to eat you alive. So, clearly, we have not much said on Bron Breaker's behalf. We had Tommaso Ciampa pretty much carrying the load here going into New Year's Evil. WWE will probably do a contract signing next week of sorts, because that's what their typical MO is. They'll do a contract signing. There'll be some fucking chaos that ensues during said contract signing, and then we'll get the NXT Championship match at New Year's Evil. Tommaso Ciampa carried the load here, and the one thing I did not like about this is that it made Tommaso Ciampa look like a scrub. It really did make Ciampa look like a scrub here. He talked all that shit. He slapped Breaker. Breaker picked him up, and he got terrified, and he backed away in the corner like a little bitch. This is the NXT champion, Tommaso Ciampa. This is fucking Psycho Killer, Tommaso Ciampa. One of the greatest heels that this company has ever seen in the last 30 years. He was backing away because Bron Breaker picked him up with a press slam. He made Ciampa look like a chump. Not really for that. But I do think WWE will give us some sort of contract signing next week, and that is what we're headed towards. Bron Breakker becoming the NXT champion. What Ciampa does after this, I have no idea. Does he continue to wrestle? Is his contract coming up? Is he going to be a coach, producer? Take more of a backstage role? I don't know. Maybe he retires. Certainly he's not going to the main roster. You know that man doesn't want to travel on the main roster and be away from his family. What is going to happen to Tommaso Ciampa? We will see. I don't know. Grayson Waller. He has this Instagram promo he cut on AJ Styles. The promo that pretty much got AJ Styles to fly from Milwaukee and Monday Night Raw last night all the way to Orlando. He cut a promo on AJ Styles' soccer mom hair, like we've never heard that one before. We all wish we had hair like AJ Styles, especially me, who's losing mine. Saying he has money and he should consider a haircut. He put a pair of shades on and said, "Check it out. I am the phenomenal Grayson Waller." No, you're not. No, you're not. Please do not disrespect AJ Styles like that anymore. So, we go from Grayson Waller to a street fight between Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. This apparently got started in the back. It did not even lead to these women getting an introduction out to the ringside area and then starting the match in the ring and then taking place on the outside of the ring in the arena. This actually started backstage. Vic was going to throw it to the street fight between Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, and instead, while Gonzalez was walking through the back, Kai tried to blindside her with a rolling cart. So the two started brawling in the back, tossing each other into the lockers and other steel structures that were laying about. Vic said the match wouldn't even officially start until they reached the ring, so Gonzalez picked up a steel stand and drove Kai into a rolling cart with it, then slammed her into another rolling cart. Kai started running off and threw everything she could find at Gonzalez. There were steel pipes and fucking boxes and all this other shit just laying about backstage. So Kai started running off and threw everything she could find at Gonzalez. Flattened Kai with a big boot, did Raquel. And then she tried to pin Kai between two rolling carts, but Kai moved and threw a trash can at Gonzalez. Kai threw a back kick at Gonzalez to lay her out. There were a couple of referees to try and convince these two to get in the ring. She said, fuck that. She set up a table. Gonzalez set up Kai on a gurney and rolled her into the garage door. Kai escaped out of a door that led to the outside. Gonzalez gave chase and started running Kai into walls and pillars, and we go to a split-screen commercial break. So during this split screen, we get the action finally going to ringside. Vic said the bell had sounded during the break at some point. We didn't physically hear it, but Vic Joseph said so I guess we got to believe Vic Joseph. So the match time, obviously, I don't know how long it's going to be, if this actually constituted as part of the match, or if the length of the match starts when the bell rang during the split screen. I have no idea. So the battle stayed on the outside of the ring for a little bit. Kai tried to run Gonzalez into the steel steps, but Gonzalez put on the brakes. Kai tried for a punt kick from the apron. Gonzalez held on and tried to walk over Kai to the corner. Kai spiked Gonzalez's head into the apron. Kai took a table and tried to roll it into the ring, but Gonzalez shoved it into Kai's midsection. Both went into the ring, and Gonzalez tripped Kai onto a chair. Gonzalez then tried a powerbomb on Kai through a leaning table, but Kai turned it into a Hurricane Rana and took Gonzalez outside with it. She put a trash can over the head of Gonzalez and then did somewhat of a coup de grace from above on Raquel Gonzalez on the steel trash can. Kai tried to follow up, but Gonzalez powerbombed Kai onto a segment of the stairs or a portion of the stairs that was still in the corner. Gonzalez rolled Kai into the ring, followed, ate a boot. Kai got up, but Gonzalez booted her, and then she hit the big power bomb right through a trash can, her finishing move. 1, 2, 3, and that was it. It was about 7 minutes, minus the backstage altercation between these two. Raquel Gonzalez wins with her powerbomb finishing move, and the feud hopefully is finally over. I don't know what this means for Raquel Gonzalez. Apparently WWE is giving her one more shot at the Women's Championship. Now, I don't know what they're doing with Raquel Gonzalez in the Women's Championship. Nobody wants to see Raquel Gonzalez as the Women's Champion again. I think we've seen that. We've been through that. I honestly think it's going to be more of a situation where she's going to turn heel again on Cora Jade. And I do think Mandy Rose is going to retain the championship at New Year's Evil. I do. I think Mandy Rose is going to retain the championship at New Year's Evil. I think Cora Jade is going to still be in line to beat Mandy Rose. I do think that they're all doing this to set up Cora Jade to run through Raquel and then run through Mandy, take down the Giant, and then take the Women's Championship and then be the new queen of the NXT Women's Division. I just don't see Raquel winning the championship again. I think that would be actually going backwards. And I don't think Cora Jade is ready for a Women's Championship reign right now. She is not a believable champion to lead that division. Mandy Rose is not even a believable champion to lead that division. I don't know why you would give it to a 20-year-old who's not even developed yet. She's not developed yet. She's still green as grass. Unless that's what WWE wants in their women's division. Giving people championships that are not yet ready to be at that level or in that spotlight. Now, if Raquel Gonzalez doesn't win the championship, what happens to Raquel Gonzalez? Is she going to get called up to the main roster? She's seemingly ready for the main roster. I don't know what the fuck she's doing down there. I don't know what Io's doing down there. WWE could certainly use more women on the main roster. They should really start looking from within to add to these women's divisions, really. SmackDown could absolutely use an Io Shirai. A Monday Night Raw could absolutely use a Raquel Gonzalez. Not like it's going to make the fucking show better because the writing is just atrocious. No matter who you put on these shows. It doesn't matter who's on these shows. It fucking sucks. But WWE has Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Io Shirai all ready for the main roster. What are you waiting for? Clearly, these women are not your priority anymore. But you got them. And your women's divisions on Raw and SmackDown are fucking garbage because of the creative that you have given both Raw and SmackDown women's divisions. Let's get some more bodies on those shows. Let's get some more people in that division to make it a more competitive one and give people like Becky and Sasha and Charlotte some more competition. So we don't have to do championship contender matches every week. Let's get some more competition. Bayley's coming back. Asuka will be back. You don't realize how great the women's division could be if you actually just fucking move some pieces from NXT to Monday to Friday. You could have a great fucking division on both shows. But I don't think WWE is in the business to make great shows. All they care about is making the green. Sucks. After the match was over, Cora Jade hit the ramp while Raquel Gonzalez continued to call out Mandy Rose. She didn't want to go anywhere until she got her championship match tonight. She said she knows Gonzalez wants another match with Mandy Rose, but Jade wants to make them pay for trying to rip her arm out of her socket. So Mandy Rose appeared on the Tron from a pool. I don't know where she was, but she was having a great time by herself with the NXT Women's title. So she said that she was in a giving mood this holiday season, and they will be getting a triple threat match for the NXT title. When she said this, the camera panned down to her waist and showed the belt. Nice little cleavage shot on the way down. Good one there, Yeah, he knows how to pick his spots there, the Beaver. So, She told the two of them to enjoy the beating, and on cue, JC Jane and Gigi Dolan attack Gonzalez and Jade with kendo sticks from behind. And that was pretty much the end of the segment. So we got next week, Raquel Gonzalez and Cora Jade teaming up against JC Jane and Gigi Dolan in a women's tag team match. So there you go. Joe Gacy and Harland. Another one of my favorite acts on the show. I did not like these two guys at the starts of this gimmick, but they have rapidly grown on me. Joe Gacy spoke to the camera on Harland's behalf and said Harland had regret all over his face when he threw Brian Kendrick down a flight of stairs last week. Of course, Harland obviously did not say anything. He didn't look sorry at all. He just looked like he wanted to do it again. So Joe Gacy pretty much said sorry on behalf, in oh so many words, said sorry on Harland's behalf. We will hear from Brian Kendrick a little bit later on in the show. The Grizzled young veterans, they were watching a video of the Creeds, Brutus and Julius Creed, working out. Zach Gibson says they're going to beat the Creeds not with muscles. They're going to defeat them with their minds. I don't like what they're doing to the Grizzled young veterans, man. Zach Gibson and James Drake deserve a lot better. They're treated like a bunch of fucking geeks. This is not really how Triple H booked them. What I think is happening here is Vince and Bruce see them as two comedy UK guys, and that's about it. And they're using that, and that's where they'll be. As long as Bruce and Vince are in charge here, which is quite sad because they may be the second best tag team on the entire fucking show. Maybe the second best tag team in all the fucking company. If you want me to be blunt with you. It's Imperium and then GYV. But what the fuck do I know? Comedy geeks is what they've turned them into. Persia Perota. She walked in and told Indy Hartwell that their match tonight was postponed. Good. Green as grass is Persia Perota. She didn't know why. Grayson Waller walked in and Hartwell said that he was a douchebag. Waller says he kicked Papa out of NXT and Hartwell wanted to go at him. Perota held Hartwell back as Waller walked off. So Indy Hartwell was obviously upset that Mr. Grayson Waller here did what he did to Johnny Gargano because Indy Hartwell was in the way. And she wanted to take some issue with Grayson Waller for doing that to Johnny. The Creed brothers. Julius and Brutus Creed versus the Grizzled young veterans. You know, I'm going to give Julius and Brutus some time to develop. I am. I don't see what is so special about these guys. I don't. I think they are very, very green. I think they're part of Diamond Mine, and yeah, Malcolm Bivens is great, and he's a great leader, he's a great mouthpiece, but, I mean, these guys are as dull as dishwater, man. They come out looking like amateur wrestlers with the fucking singlets. I mean, there's nothing really entertaining about them at all. All they do is throw you around. I mean, they need to, and I know I may be a little rough with them, but if the plan is to make them into the next Steiner brothers, then that's fine. But that's going to take quite a long time. I'm just not seeing it right now. And I don't really think that there is much interest there as far as them doing anything tag team related for the titles in the NXT tag team division. I don't. I think they're actually on the lower end of the tag team spectrum in NXT. I don't think they should be near the top at all. Same thing with those fucking smoking gun wannabes there. So these guys went up against the Grizzled young veterans. Julius threw Gibson around early. Brutus tagged in. Julius splashed Brutus atop Gibson. Creeds dominated, taking down Gibson. And Julius ended up being the legal man. Drake tagged in and got a slam on Julius. GYV tagged in, hit some tandem offense, took control. Drake tagged in again, threw some rights, grabbed a headlock. Brutus tagged in. Creeds took turns throwing big knees at Drake's midsection. Gut wrench into a powerbomb by Brutus. Went for a cover, got a 2 count. Gibson made the blind tag. GYV dumped Brutus over the top rope. Two teamed up for an elbow drop from high up to the floor. Jacket Time came out there with a mini announce table, and they sat down with an announce table with their fucking logo on it, doing Japanese commentary in the middle of the match. Jacket time. And who finds these fucking guys interesting, man? Jesus Christ. Jacket time. What a joke of a fucking team, man. This is the best you got for Kushida? A world-class professional wrestler they got him teaming up with. Unbelievable. So Jacket Time was acting as a Japanese announce team. Drake took down Brutus with a headlock. Drake got stunned in the face. Saw Briggs and Jensen make their way into the match, and they stood on the ramp. We got all the NXT tag teams out there. So Vic started throwing it to the Japanese announce team. Nobody understood what the fuck these guys were saying. And Vic said he agreed with everything Kushida said, but disagreed wholeheartedly with Icam and Jiro. Brutus slammed Drake for 2. Vic threw it to Jacket Time again. Action spilled to the outside. The Creeds wanted to put GYV through their little mini Japanese announce table. They protected the table, but the Creeds shoved GYV through Jacket Time. Briggs and Jensen got involved. This ended up being a double disqualification because Jacket Time is out there causing fucking chaos for absolutely no reason. So I don't know what we're doing with the tag team title situation. Imperium is looking pretty, man. Let these fucking jobber teams battle it out. I don't think any one of these teams is anywhere close enough to be taking down Imperium. I don't. Maybe MSK. That's about it. Because MSK has the Shaman Riddle. But these teams, man, nowhere near where they should be and nowhere near Imperium. Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. They were interviewed by Mackenzie Mitchell. Cut a promo on Dexter Loomis in front of a monitor in the back. We got a still shot of Loomis on the television monitor. Big time close-up of Loomis. And Williams got freaked out. Zoe Stark, Io Shirai, they were in the Performance Center at the trainer's room for massage. Stark thanked Shirai for showing up. Legado del Fantasma then walked in, argued with them for whatever reason about who should be getting the first massage. Elektra Lopez showed up, had an argument with Io about who should be getting a massage next. And Elektra Lopez pretty much challenged Io Shirai to a match later tonight. This is how we're setting up matches on NXT, man. Prototypical Bruce Prichard. Prototypical Bruce Prichard on how to set up matches, man. Legitimately out of nothing. Dexter Loomis. He went one-on-one with Trick Williams. It was about 5 minutes. Trick Williams is not ready to be in the ring by himself. Green as fucking grass is Trick Williams. Dexter Loomis. Love me some Dexter Loomis. He's another guy that's ready for the main roster. Don't know what they're doing with him. Apparently they're setting him up for a feud with Carmelo Hayes. Nobody's taking that North American title off of Carmelo Hayes anytime soon. But Loomis and Trick Williams went about 5 minutes. Dexter Loomis wins with the silence sleeper hold. Loomis leaned in to scare Williams a couple of times, shoved him off. Hayes tried to coach Williams on the outside, bailed quickly when Loomis closed in. Williams ran into a Thez press right at the top. Took a awkward bump off the Thez press. I think it was a timing issue there. Loomis worked the chin lock. Diamond Mine appeared on the NXT perch above the commentary table, where we saw all of Diamond Mine. Roddy with the Cruiserweight Championship. So they were watching this match from the perch, and we got Williams hitting a dropkick on Loomis, threw a few punches, drove Loomis into the mat. Loomis got put out on the apron. Williams tried a sliding dropkick. Loomis trapped him in the apron. Hayes was face-to-face with Loomis. Loomis gave him a thumbs up, and Roddy jumped down from the perch and started to attack Carmelo Hayes. So they were brawling to the back, and in the ring, Williams took over, hit a body slam on Loomis, went for a 2 count. We got a headlock by Williams because he doesn't know much else. Loomis broke free, took Williams down with some uppercuts, corner lariat, bulldog by Loomis, backdrop by Loomis, kipped up, hit a spinning, standing leg drop. He then took Williams into the corner, started hitting some punches in the corner. Williams grabbed the shoe. He grabbed his shoe. He took off his shoe. He went to go hit Loomis with his shoe, but Loomis sidestepped it. He got caught in the sleeper hold, the silencer. And that was it. Trick Williams gets tapped out. And that was it. 1, 2, 3. Dexter Loomis wins in about 5 minutes. Really not much at all. They're setting up Loomis versus Carmelo Hayes at some point down the line. But first, they're doing Roddy, apparently. They're doing Roddy versus Carmelo Hayes. And I'll talk about that in a second. After the bell, Grayson Waller attacked Lumis with the chair on the Tron. AJ Styles was shown arriving at the arena. Waller then set up the chair in the ring and waited for AJ Styles to make his way into the arena. Pete Dunne said he was the baddest man in NXT, said all of his talent was young and hungry, or all of the NXT talent, I should say, was young and hungry, but he's the same age as these blokes, and he's just as hungry. He threatened Tony D'Angelo ahead of their match tonight in the main event. Grayson Waller and AJ Styles, we got the confrontation that WWE pretty much gave us no build for and no hype around. Grayson Waller continued cutting a promo until AJ Styles and his music played, and the arena here at the Performance Center went crazy for AJ Styles. They don't really get to see AJ all that often here in Orlando. He had a mic in his hand. He waited out a chant of his name. Fans were chanting AJ Styles. Waller said it was the Grayson Waller effect. Sure it was. Yes, AJ Styles is in Orlando, and they're cheering AJ Styles because you called him out. Sure thing, guy. Styles told him to shut up. He said this is Grayson Waller, the biggest jackass in NXT. He asked Waller if he feels popular right now after his viral videos. How viral are his videos? I don't think they're very viral at all. I think WWE's got a misinterpretation of what viral really means. So Waller said, of course, he felt popular after getting the attention of a future Hall of Famer. Waller said Styles was here because his meal ticket left him last night, and he's here looking for a partner. No, he's not looking for a partner. I think after the failed experiment, that was, I don't think AJ Styles is looking for any more tag team partners. The only partner he's looking for is a world championship around his waist. But Waller is a solo act, he says. Styles said Waller was cocky, and he appreciates that, but he was only calling Styles out to get the rub. Waller said he was the star of the War Games match, and Styles told him that he had a good 3 weeks, but he should try being phenomenal for nearly 20-plus years. Waller ripped off his shirt, threatened to do something, and he bailed out. He was squaring up to fight. He bailed out. Styles wanted to fight, but when Waller bailed out, he said, hey, I'm going to let Omos get you first. I got next. And that was it. Now, if this is leading to Styles versus Waller at New Year's Evil, I don't see what good this is going to do for anybody. What good is this going to do for Styles? What good is this going to do for Waller? I mean, I don't believe in him. I don't. I feel like WWE, I appreciate that they're trying to keep the momentum going, but I don't think it's a natural consistency. I don't think it's a natural momentum coming out of the Johnny Gargano attack a couple of weeks ago. I just don't believe in him yet. He's not that heel. He's got the makings of a good heel, but I think WWE is trying way too hard with Grayson Waller. And I don't think AJ Styles is the type of guy you want on NXT, man. He needs his own fucking rebuilding phase. Why don't we send somebody like a Cesaro or a Ricochet down to NXT? Somebody that could use the in-ring work down there and really put over some young talent. They're not really doing much of anything. AJ Styles needs his own fucking rub. See what happens. They may be doing that at New Year's Evil. Otherwise, I don't see why this made any sense whatsoever. In typical WWE fashion, I won't be surprised that we see this and we never see this ever again. This was just for the night because they were going up against Tuesday Night Football for the first time in a long time. Malcolm Bivens with Diamond Mine cut a promo on Carmelo Hayes. He challenged Carmelo Hayes to a match, title versus title, Roddy versus Hayes at New Year's Evil. He finished with this one, and I absolutely laughed my ass off at this. Malcolm Bivens is great. He said, Merry Christmas, ho, ho, ho. Love it. So they're putting the Cruiserweight Championship on the line in a title versus title match against Carmelo Hayes, who is on the high priority list in WWE as far as NXT is concerned. Now, I don't know what this is going to mean for the Cruiserweight Championship. WWE has been rumored to be wanting to get rid of the Cruiserweight Championship. WWE has been rumored to want to change 205 Live and just change the name of the show and just kind of really move away from that weight limit type thing. Carmelo Hayes is not losing the North American Championship to Roderick Strong. And if this is a title versus title match, I honestly think with the way WWE thinks of the Cruiserweight Championship, I don't really think WWE gives a shit about it. So giving it to Carmelo Hayes and just kind of enhancing him by having 2 belts and having him beat one of the best pro wrestlers on the brand, I think WWE is more apt to do that. So I think WWE actually may end the Cruiserweight division by having Carmelo Hayes just kind of retire the title. And quite frankly, I don't even care. There are no more Cruiserweights. There are no more Cruiserweights on this show. They absolutely erased the entire division. Everything about it is gone. So why is there a need for a championship? Which sucks for Roddy because he's been a great champion. He's a great pro wrestler. But I can't see WWE keeping that championship around for no reason. So give it to Carmelo Hayes and just have him brag that he's a double champion. He's the A champion and now he's the champ. Or whatever you want to call him. It'll give him bragging rights. That's all they give a shit about. They don't give a fuck about the Cruiserweight title. I thought they were going to do it with Joe Gacy, which I was actually in favor of. But I think Carmelo Hayes beats Roddy, and I think we have a double champion. Matt Riddle, he told MSK that a scooter is like a journey to its destination. Nash Carter and Wes Lee acted like it was a deep, deep sleep and a big-time dream. Riddle gave each man a gift of an RK Bro shirt. Riddle said next week when they call out Imperium, it's going to be, it's going to be great. They all rode on their scooters and suddenly got hit by a bus. They woke up from this dream. But Riddle appeared again and then all of a sudden stepped off of a bus and then he produced 3 more scooters with the snap of a finger. They rode off again and they are really egging it on with Shaman Riddle. So we got MSK versus Imperium at some point for the tag team titles. I don't know when that's going to happen. Maybe that happens at New Year's Evil as well. I figured it would be leading to MSK with Riddle winning the Dusty Cup. So I don't know. The way I see it now, it may be MSK beating Imperium for the titles and then Jacket Time winning the fucking Dusty Cup. I could see WWE doing that, to be quite honest with you. God forbid, Edris Enofe versus Von Wagner. This Enofe kid, he looks very impressive, man. He's got a great build. He's got a very Harlem Heat-esque look to him. Looks very good. Well-built guy. He went one-on-one with Von Wagner. Von Wagner got some graphics thrown on the big screen. They got this kind of 80s rock vibe to him. Very Van Halen-esque. I don't know what they're doing with Von Wagner, but like I said at the top, this guy needs some sort of character, man. This guy needs some sort of charisma. We need to see that charisma. And it looks like WWE is in the know in regards to that because it looks like they may be pairing him with somebody that is very charismatic, and that is Robert Stone. Robert Stone came out and watched Von Wagner versus Enofe right from the ramp. And Enofe wins in 1 minute with a slam attempt. He hit one of his own. I believe he hit a code red on Von Wagner, and that was enough for the win. Shock pin in 1 minute. After the match, Wagner got his heat back. He beat up Enofe after the bell with some clotheslines, some stomps, a big slam. He looks at Robert Stone, walks up the ramp and shoulder tackles, or shoulder bumps, I should say, Robert Stone on his way up the ramp. So it looks like they may be adding Robert Stone, or Robert Stone may be courting Von Wagner of sorts, which I think would be a great addition because Von Wagner needs somebody to be a representative of him. So hopefully WWE knows what they're doing, and Robert Stone isn't really doing much of anything. So we'll see what happens. He needs that fucking boost of charisma. And if Robert Stone can give him that, I have no problems with that because we need to know why we should care about this guy. And it's not because he looks like a fucking mix of Khali and Edge. It's not because he puts the lotion in the basket. It's not because he has a name that nobody knows what the fuck means. we want to know why we should care about a Von Wagner. I don't even know what the fucking Von Wagner is still. And Ofe wins in 1 minute. Mackenzie Mitchell interviewed Imperium. They spoke in German. And they spoke in Italian. She apologized for not speaking these languages. And Fabian Eichner offered a basic threat up to MSK. It's pretty much they're not going to beat Imperium. New Year's Evil, Braun Breaker, Tommaso Ciampa, Mandy Rose defends against Cora Jade, Raquel Gonzalez. They went over that. Those are two of the matches that we'll be seeing at New Year's Evil. Elektra Lopez walked with Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde and spoke into the camera ahead of her match with Io Shirai. She said she is a definite work in progress. All three walked past the camera, and far behind, Zion Quinn was walking in the distance. And Vic Joseph speculated on whether he would appear during Elektra Lopez's match. So we get this match. It ends in 4 minutes. Io Shirai and Elektra Lopez. Elektra Lopez is not very good in the ring at all. She's another one of these women on the show that is as green as anything I've seen in recent memory. This was the same woman that wrestled B-Fab twice and did not look good doing it. And they almost killed each other in a no DQ match. I believe that was B-Fab's second match, if I'm not mistaken. Knee to the midsection and a slam by Lopez. Back elbow in the corner. Shirai eventually took down Lopez in the corner. Went for her double knees. The Meteor in the corner, but Lopez blocked and booted Shirai. Lopez yanked Shirai around by the hair until the ref broke it up. Rope run. Spine busted by Lopez. Got it 2. Headlock by Lopez kind of deaded the crowd a little bit and slowed the pace of this match. Shirai wrestled to free herself at a drop kick. Then she went for a tiger feint kick. Missile drop kick by Shirai, followed by the double knees in the corner. Io went up for the moonsault, but Lopez crotched Shirai on the top turnbuckle when she was going up for her finish. Zion Quinn walked to ringside and took out both members of Legado on the outside. He then jumped on the apron and he had a mistletoe in his mouth, and he wanted to hang the mistletoe above he and Elektra Lopez. He went in for a kiss, and then all of a sudden, we get Santos Escobar. He was yanked off the ring apron, and Santos took care of him. And then Io eventually hit the moonsault on Elektra Lopez, which obviously caused a distraction in the match. 1, 2, 3, and Io Shirai gets the victory. I don't care. I mean, Io Shirai, she is way too good for this fucking beginner basic bullshit. Let's get her in a fucking main roster program and have her feuding with somebody going into WrestleMania. What's she doing on this show? Of all the people on this brand, you want to keep Io happy. This is how you're going to keep Io happy, wrestling Elektra Lopez? Got to do something more with Io. Otherwise, she's going to be goodbye, either back to Japan or Tony Khan. Believe me, Kenny Omega will be on the phone with Io in the blink of a fucking eye. Io wins in 4 minutes. Pete Dunne. He wrestled Tony D'Angelo over here. Tony D'Angelo. This was a great main event. Tony D. Pete Dunne. Very physical. Main event spot. Nice to see. Collar and elbow. Started the match. D'Angelo evaded. An arm stomp. Pete Dunne went for the joint manipulation early. Arm ring reverse. D'Angelo reached the rope break. He knew what was about to happen with Pete Dunne. Rope run, and D'Angelo hit a big belly-to-back suplex on Dunne. He landed viciously on the back of his neck. My goodness. And he did not really appear injured, but, I mean, it looked fucked up. It really did. So, beautiful and brutal suplex by Tony D. Backdrop by D'Angelo. D'Angelo has been called Tony D tonight, which may be kind of an insight to where they may be leaning. A lot of Tony D tonight. I even do it here on the show. I hope that they don't call him just Tony D. Tony D'Angelo. Let's not cut somebody's name that already has a great working name. I hope to God he does not have Angelo cut from his name. Because it's exactly what I was thinking while all I heard the commentary team say, oh, Tony D, Tony D. I know I do it here, but I do it because, it just sounds cool, right? But Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo sounds better than Tony D on the fucking graphic. So, belly to belly was flipped through by Dunne. Thrust kick by Dunne. Put him on the outside. Dunne dropped. Knees on D'Angelo's arm on the apron. We go to a commercial break, split screen. Dunne was working the arm and the joint manipulation. Stomps. Dunne kicked at D'Angelo in that typical Pete Dunne style. Chops by Dunne, and D'Angelo got angry. Speared Dunne. Corner lariat by Tony D. Suplex with a bridge by D'Angelo. But Dunne caught him in a triangle. D'Angelo hit a exploder suplex on Dunne. And he tried to escape, but he got a cover for a 2 count. So we got Dunne catching D'Angelo and stomping him while holding his arms, and then both sold on the mat late in the match. And the 2 exchange shots. D'Angelo slammed Dunne for a 2. There was this long segment where D'Angelo was crawling over to grab a crowbar for the match. And it's the same crowbar he had at War Games that he was choking Pete Dunne with. He swung it. He missed. I don't know why he went for the crowbar. I guess he was getting frustrated because he couldn't put Dunne away. Dunne snapped on an armbar. D'Angelo broke free, ripped out Dunne's mouthpiece, worked towards his finisher. Dunne blocked it with his legs, worked his fingers again, hit the bitter end. It looked brutal. 1, 2, 3. Pete Dunne wins in about 13 minutes. He beats Tony D'Angelo. I believe that's Tony D'Angelo's first loss on NXT television, which I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with. Pete Dunne is somebody that should not be messed with, and losing to Pete Dunne is not really a negative in anybody's world whatsoever. D'Angelo tried to blind Dunne, but Dunne hit a knee and put D'Angelo to the floor. On the outside, D'Angelo hit his finish on the announce table hood. Then he choked out Dunne with the crowbar. D'Angelo trapped Dunne's hand and crushed his hand at the end of the show with the crowbar. The end of the show saw Pete Dunne writhing in pain, screaming in pain, as Tony D took the crowbar and attacked Mr. Pete Dunne's knuckles and hand in revenge for losing tonight in the main event. I thought it was a great match. Tony D'Angelo's getting a little bit better every single week. It's a great thing to see. And like I said, I think he's a world champion type guy in the making. I really do. And I'm not saying that because I like the gimmick. I'm not saying it because it's Italiano. I'm not saying because he's my boy. But he's just got a great look. He's just got that old school 90s feel where I used to watch WWF Superstars, and I always watch to get invested in the new characters. That's what Tony D'Angelo, to me, feels like. And I like that. I miss that. I feel like that's exactly what is missing from WWE. I'm not saying that everybody should be a fucking character, but sometimes they get it wrong. Sometimes they get it right. They got it absolutely right with Tony D. We got this news article on Kevin Owens before we hit the Super Chats, guys. Get the Super Chats in. Get those Super Chats in. We'll hang out in a little bit. Make sure you guys hit those likes, those thumbs up. Let's try for 800. We got 180 to go. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And make sure you guys support the podcast by hitting the thumbs up. We got some news on Kevin Owens. This one small article here. Kevin Owens believes NXT 2.0 should have a totally different name. Find this funny how he says this now after he just signed a new 3-year contract with WWE. Kevin Owens obviously is as NXT was back in the day. And he wanted to go back in 2019 for another stint, but it ended up being a one-night only return because Vince McMahon would not allow it for more than one night. I wonder why. While speaking to Pat Laprade on the French-Canadian podcast, Les Antipodes de la Lutte. I probably butchered the name of that podcast, but whatever it is. Owens talked about how today's NXT 2.0 is very different from the NXT he was once a part of. Today's NXT is very different, says Kevin Owens, than the NXT I was a part of, to the point I believe it should be a totally different name. I don't think it's better or worse, but I just think it's too different. So when I'm watching NXT, I don't see the NXT I was a part of. It's not the same thing. Owens says NXT was somewhat like Ring of Honor as it evolved so much, it's barely recognizable anymore. He continued, and I quote, I don't even consider that to be the same show. I don't really feel any attachment to NXT now. I mean, hit the nail on the head. I don't know. I don't feel any attachment to it either. There's no attachment to it. It's exactly what Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard wanted. They want a lifeless fucking show. They gave you a lifeless fucking show. Owens also doesn't think he fits the new NXT as he did with the old style with the wrestlers such as Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura. Owens added that he doesn't feel the same way now that he felt 2 years ago about NXT. I mean, this is nothing new. I mean, this is just, if Kevin Owens feels it, if Kevin Owens is saying it, and he's being open and honest about it, how do you think the fucking fans feel? Just look at the ratings for the show. Nobody's watching the show. The ratings are the worst it's ever been for the brand. The 18 to 49 demographic is absolutely the drizzling shits. The show is not cool. The show is not interesting. It's not engaging. It tries too hard to be something different. Meanwhile, there was nothing wrong with Triple H's version. So Kevin Owens is just uttering the same thing everybody else is saying. Nothing new. Kevin Owens is correct. Nobody feels any attachment to NXT now. But that's exactly what Vince McMahon wanted. You were too attached to what Triple H was doing. That's not what we do here. We want a lifeless, soulless program. So that's what you're going to get. And you're going to enjoy it. And people are showing them exactly what they think of this new Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon NXT. They're not watching. I only watch it because I do what I do here. Some weeks I don't even want to come on here. It's a waste of my fucking time. I'm better than the fucking crowds I draw on Tuesday night. I can show up on Monday and grab 3,000 fucking people live. I can do Dynamite with Jesse, 26, 27, 2,800 people. We have it upwards towards 4,500 on Wednesday. 1,200 people, 1,300 people on Tuesday night for NXT. Nobody gives a shit. It's actually embarrassing. I look at that and I look at those numbers. I don't even want to fucking be here. I can imagine people not wanting to watch the show. But I appreciate you guys that you do want to be here. You watch me and you don't give a shit about the show. You're just here for me, which is great. It's more than I could say about the other people covering NXT because I do it better than anybody else. Thank you guys for all of your support, man. I appreciate you all hanging out with me on your Tuesday night. Get those super chats in, man. Seriously, get those super chats in. Hit that thumbs up. If you guys are in the chat, have not hit the thumbs up, please do so. Let's try for 800 likes on today's OTS NXT 2.0 review. Tonight's show sponsored by Manscaped. Hey, fellas. Manscaped is sponsoring today's NXT 2.0 post show. The global leaders in below the waist grooming are leaving 2021 with new products. Clean yourself into the new year with their ultra premium body wash. Also, you guys can actually use code SCRIPT20 at checkout. Not only for that free shipping, but 20% off anything on their website. 2022 is on the way. And the last thing you guys want is to be the guy with pubes getting in your way of making this year your best year yet. 2021 sucked for most people, and that's why Manscaped is making a splash and upping your grooming game. Their signature Lawn Mower 4.0 is here to take down every pube in its path, like Bruce taking down a fucking career on Monday Night Raw. Manscaped engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and an incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. Thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, it's even waterproof. This tool is amazing, and I'm confident using the 4.0 to leave 2021 and my gross pubes with it. You know what else I'm confident about? Smelling like $1,000,000. You may be asking how, and I'm happy you did. I used Manscaped's refined cologne with the same signature scent that's in all the Manscaped formulas, a great compliment to your collection. Let's talk about being clean, feeling and smelling good. The new Ultra Premium Body Wash from Manscaped solves all three for the perfect addition to your daily grooming routine, but in the shower. I shower every day. Hopefully you guys do the same thing. This body wash was infused with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean, nice, and moisturized. With Manscaped, you'll be a brand new man and ready to kick all the gross hair and smells out of 2021, man. Use code SCRIPT20 at checkout to save 20% off and get that free shipping. I'm all in on confidence and smelling good this year. Join me with Manscaped. Happy New Year. to your balls. Script20 at manscaped.com. Let's get into the super chats, guys. We got, let's see what we got here. I know we got a couple filtering in before the stream got started. We got Kratos with a $5 super chat. I appreciate you, brother. What's up, JD? Tony D is great. Guy is going to be a big deal in the future, in my opinion. Yes, he is. And he follows me on social media. I hope he realizes that we're big fans of him right here on this show. Also, Furious with a 10, a 5, and a 5. Thank you, brother. Like you said on your NXT Halloween Havoc 2021 review, Dunne versus Tony D tonight showed that there still is a need for that indie style for NXT. Because without that, people like Wagner won't ever improve. You know, Von Wagner is he could be a very good wrestler. He just needs a fucking direction. He needs some fucking character. I don't know what he is. Or why I should care. Also, it amazes me how many people use the don't like it, don't watch excuse like many did on your Raw review a few weeks ago. Quite sad, to be honest. They could fucking cry into the void, man. Fuck those people. Those people clearly don't want a better show, and they are somehow in agreement that the show is fine the way it is. Also, what are your thoughts on Roxy from Ring of Honor? Glad you're feeling better too as well. Have a Merry Christmas and good night, bro. I don't really have any familiarity with Roxy. I don't. I started to hear the name a little bit more, knowing that she actually was invited to try out for WWE, but other than that, I don't know a fucking thing about her. All I know is that she's the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. Riddick, thank you for the membership, brother. 15 months, that's odd. It says, I'm a new member. Been a member for 15 months. Weird. As long as you're here, bro. As long as you're here, man. Brandon James becomes a new member. Thank you, brother. What are you drinking? $5 super chat from Brandon James. I go to AEW Dynamite next month, January 5th, 2022. Love to hear it, man. Have a good time. AEW puts on a great show always, especially live. Tyler B with a $5 super chat. What's up, JD? Much love as always. Are you excited for Kyle and a box tomorrow night? Yes, I am. Kyle O'Reilly on AEW television, reforming Red Dragon, joining forces with Bobby Fish and Adam Cole, baby. Gonna bring a smile to my face, man. The Undisputed Elite. It's gonna be awesome. Jacob Donnelly with a $5 super chat. How can Jiro and Kushida be jacket time when only one guy wears a jacket? Bro, listen, I can't have you coming into the venue and making too much sense, bro. I mean, you may blow a fucking blood vessel in Bruce's brain. Can we get Kushida back in the Back to the Future role that he was in? What a fucking waste of Kushida, man. Hey, listen, if he's happy, he's happy. I don't know. I can't get behind I can't get behind it. I don't know. And the NYC Demon Diva, Issa, in the venue tonight. With a $4.99 super chat. She says, hope you are feeling better. I am better than I was yesterday, Issa. Slight cough, which I'm actually holding back on because I hate coughing on air. I got a mute button right here, though, but I'm hoping by Christmas we'll be ready to rock and roll. Hopefully. And then I'm taking the rest of the year off, starting Sunday, up until New Year's. You guys can go watch SAP and be bored out of your mind. I'm only kidding. SAP is cool. Go watch Wrestle Geeks and fall asleep. No, I'm not kidding. Michael Liege with a $5 super chat. JD, is it me? Or is NXT 2.0 more entertaining than Raw and SmackDown? Michael, it is not you, bro. I say the same thing. NXT is WWE's de facto best show. Not because it's a great show. Not because they're doing things right there. but because Monday night and Friday night are excruciatingly terrible. It is awful on Monday night. That show was a fucking embarrassment last night. Seriously. SmackDown is no better. SmackDown is no better, man. Guys, I'll be live tomorrow night with Jesse. We got the Holiday Bash show. Tony Khan is already predicting or getting people excited about what is happening. And I'm very excited to see what he brings tomorrow night. Surprises, great wrestling, great matches. We got a TBS title qualifier, semifinal match taking place. Nyla Rose versus Ruby Soho. We got that great main event, man. Punk, Darby, and Sting versus FTR and MJF, man. Should be really, really fucking awesome. And like I said, guys, I'll be here the rest of the week. Wednesday, I'm going to try and get some extras up. I'm going to try and filter out some content when I'm not here. I just need to hit the reset button and relax going into the new year, man. I really do. I want to take some time for myself. There's really not much going on. There's no big wrestling shows happening at the end of the year. Monday Night Raw is so trash that I think it would actually do me well if I miss one. It's not going to hurt me in any way. But I will have extras up for you guys. And then come Sunday, man, I am taking the next 5 days off, man. I'll be back for day one. So I want you guys to be very well aware of that, okay? But we're about to get out of here, man. We are about to get out of here. I love this song, by the way. Such a great song. I thank you guys for joining me. Hey, MGM Bowling with a $4.99 super chat. Can you please reenact Omos's promo from last night? What did he say last night? I don't even remember what he said last night. I'm gonna see you in a match next week against me. I don't know, man. Listen, guys, I appreciate you stopping by tonight, hanging out with me for a cool hour and a half. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Thank you for the super chats. I know it's been a little light lately. Christmas season is around the corner, man. You guys have probably got to get your late holiday shopping in. I understand. I wish we could hang out a little bit longer, but I get it. NXT sucks. So I appreciate you guys, man. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. It's a great way to keep up to date on everything that's happening on the show. As always. Jesse and I will be live tomorrow, man. Holiday Bash. Got a great Dynamite tomorrow night. Venue's always jam-packed for AEW, man, always. It's when the real wrestling week begins for most people, smart people. Go check out Manscaped. Manscaped.com, code SCRIPT20 at checkout. 20% off, free shipping. Go get your t-shirts. Bonfire is the place. Bonfire.com. All your exclusive OTS merch is on Bonfire. And go check out all the other videos that you might have missed, including last night's Monday Night Raw review and episode 401, which was live on Saturday afternoon. All right, guys. You know what time it is, man. I need two things from you before I get the hell out of here. Number one, I need those guitar emojis in the chat. And for those VIPs, I need those Mustang emojis loud and proud in the chat as well. And When you hear that guitar solo come on from Pilot, man, that beautiful guitar solo, I need that music on Max. I'll see you guys tomorrow with Jesse live on Off the Script with AEW Dynamite and their Holiday Bash. I'll see you guys later.
Uh-huh.